when I opened my album, I said Molweni Molweni, because I needed it to resonate with that, and every other song, therefore, is something that I've gone through. It's something that I've felt. It's something that has touched me in some or other way.
702.
The upside of failure.
Proof that a setback can lead to a step forward.
The upside of failure. I'm going to try contain my excitement. And it just was by not even chance or luck that we happened to be in Cape Town at the same time. That I'm so happy that Mandisi Dyantyis is in the building. A fantastic performer, a fantastic singer. All I can say is if a person can sing a cappella and still move you, Ugutigo raw talent there. Mandisi, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for having me.
Firstly, you've known me since I was a teenager. I'm going to let you be the one to tell everybody, how do you know me?
We sang together in the choir.
Yes.
And National Youth Choir.
Yes.
And you sang everything. You were like, today I feel like I'm going to be a soprano. No, actually, I don't like that song. I'm going to be a second soprano today. Actually, I want to sing alto. I'm like, who's this girl? I was like, who's this girl? But you were so, and it's like ball of energy and just perfectionist. Sorry, and she was a snitch. I remember her saying to practice, sorry, sir, I think the tenors are off.
Yeah.
Aibo. And we looked at her, we're like, Aibo. She's like, sorry, I think the tenors are off. I'm like, Aibo, guys.
I mean, listen, it was Mozart's Requiem, sir. Look. You cannot be off in Lacrimosa. How dare you?
I'm glad that there are people who can testify that we took this thing very serious at a very young age.
And so let me tell you the craziest thing. Guys, God works in such beautiful ways that it just so happens that today while I'm doing my music things, I'm sitting with somebody who knows me from so far back. And the reason I am so proud of those moments we had together in the Drakensberg is it wasn't about business. It really was just about the music. Yeah. Just about the music. That's all we cared about. And I feel like getting older is making me return to self of everything being just about the art. And what I can tell you, I remember about that time, we were so free. We were so experimental. Yeah. So when we weren't singing with choir books,
choirs,
we were singing outside.
In groups, and you'd bring your songs from Joburg, we'd bring our songs from Cape Town, PE, and we'd teach. I don't know if I can say this.
Yes, you can.
But I remember, and I always say to people, there was a traditional song that from the Eastern Cape, it spoke about, it said, right? Cool. And then the guys from Joburg used to say, umoya wetsuele, right? Now, it's fine if you're singing Xhosa because Xhosa tswele is onion.
But in Setswana, tswele is breast.
Hey, that was my first cultural shock now, man. Tina was like, hey, I'm a tswele. And then they're like, hey, what are you talking about? Because now...
And wasn't it beautiful because we came from all over the country and came together. And I'm glad you remember because I also loved joining tenors, even though y'all was singing off. Oh. But isn't that so funny?
And no. I remember that. And I remember how you said, what are you guys singing? And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, why are you singing about Amatswele? I'm like, yeah, we're singing about Amatswele, And I was confident. I was like, Amatswele. And you're like, what are you saying? Until I realized.
Oh my gosh. Did you know back then, and I mean, we were high schoolers, that you wanted to do this professionally? Like, was that something that felt possible to you?
I knew I was going to do this for a long time, even then. Like, I didn't see another thing. Because whenever I did it, it felt good. It was hard. I mean, it's still hard. It's always hard. And it's always been hard, how it is. But it was something that I always wanted to do.
Oh, man.
It was, and it's funny because, now where it's ended or where it's going, it's like music and storytelling, and then
Yes.
but when you tell people that no, we were singing requiems and Mozart and Mendelssohn and all of these pieces, and they are the works that gave us the discipline, in knowing that if you want to get better, I remember we used to rehearse from, say, waking up and have breakfast at 8 and we'd start at 9 and we'd finish at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
But then we didn't stop singing. You know, it's so
And we
fascinating.
didn't even stop.
What's so crazy is, I'm 40 now. Back then I would have been 14,
Yeah.
13, 14. Yeah. I still know every single part and every lyric.
I mean, you do. Of course you do. I don't,
Still.
but of course you do.
And it's so like, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking. And, I'm thinking about Bunny, may his soul rest in peace.
Yeah.
Bunny was one of the leaders at the Drakensberg Boys Choir School. If you're like, Relebogile, why were you at a boys choir school?
Don't worry about
When we were doing National Youth Choir Festival, they would host us and we'd have it there. And I mean, look at the amazing Ralph Schmidt and where he is.
Exactly.
Your Michael Barrett, your Michael Dingan.
Michael Dingan. I met him 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
So these are like our conductors and composers. But the reason I mention these people is I feel like there is a certain discipline and training that we got.
Yeah.
The blending of voices.
Yeah.
It wasn't about being a soloist. It was about being part of a team.
And that's why it took me, and it's taken you this
Forever.
long to think of yourself as a soloist, because you were never a soloist.
Yeah.
Even when you got the small part there, you always wanted to be part of the choir.
Yes.
Even
now, I like harmonizing. Exactly. Whenever songs are playing, I never go to the melody. I go to the harmony.
You want to find the other. Problematic people. The problematic people are. We are very problematic. That's why I always encourage parents to at least enroll their kids in choirs. Because now you see they're dwindling small, but it's beautiful. Because in a choir, you come in there and you have nothing. We came in whatever on a Monday or whatever on a Sunday, and we had nothing. And on a Saturday we had a concert.
Dude, how did we do that? We had a whole concert.
We had a whole program.
For people that don't know, so Mozart's Requiem is over an hour long of a musical piece. So we'd stand with our choir books and have some musicians that are playing, the classical stuff. But that's all you did 24/7. Even at night when we were hanging out, we were singing.
We were practicing.
What happened to our voices? How did they not burn?
They did a technique because we spend an hour every day warming up.
At what point? Actually, I'm going to ask you after the break. We're taking a break 15 minutes after 2 o'clock.
702.
The upside of failure.
Proof that a setback can lead to a step forward.
18 minutes after 2 o'clock, the upside of failure. And we're chatting to Mandisi Dyantyis, who is a tenor who led his vocal group down the drain when we were singing in choir.
No, man.
I'm going to challenge him that in a year's time, he better have remembered Mozart's Requiem again. But we take your calls on 011 883 702 and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702. So the question I wanted to ask you, and then I realized, no, I need to go to break first. At what point did music become consciously spiritual and intentionally spiritual for you? Because what you do with your sound, there are no languages limiting to be able to even describe what it is you do. But when did it become this conscious, intentional thought in your mind where you understood, this thing is so much bigger than me. It's bigger than being in key.
I guess from when we were singing, the fascination for me would be, man, these composers are dead, one. And two, they are composers of other countries. And yet their music resonates with us, and we love it, and people come to our concerts and they cry because this old music does this. And so I wanted to get first in the psyche of that, what made it that. And I realized that these people were writing their stories, and they were writing about what was happening to them in their communities. You know, they were writing about what they felt. You know, Mozart was writing the music of his time
Yes.
for his people, you know. And so I think I turned the mirror to me, you know, say, how about you look at your life and what has brought you, you know, from where you were to here? And I think that's where my journey started. That I didn't want to sound like, I didn't want to write like. I wanted to write. Once I had the tools, I then started writing my own story.
Yeah.
You know, I started writing the story of that 3-bedroom house with 12 people in New Brighton, Port Elizabeth. You know, I tried to capture that sound. I tried to capture the sound of the streets when we're playing in the streets. You know, I tried to capture the sound of my school choirs, the bands, community bands, and the people I looked up to. You know, and that's how I started. You know, in primary school, when in the township school Pendla that I went to, when the choir came in, we said molweni 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 kanithuleni mamele. You know, that's how we greeted people before we sang.
You know what you're reminding me?
You know?
Did we not sing a good morning song?
That's what I mean.
Good morning,
Good morning,
good morning, good morning to you.
Exactly.
Good morning. Oh my
You know,
gosh.
so when I opened my album, I said molweni molweni, you know, because I needed it to resonate with that. And so, and every other song, therefore, is something that I've gone through. You know, it's something that I've felt. It's something that has touched me in some or other way, you know. But also understanding that as I was doing it and the songs were being gifted to me, I didn't necessarily have a big part to play in the songs coming to me. This way, I realized that there were gifts, you know.
How do you hear your melodies? How do you, I mean, I've always visualized it for myself that I say those that walk before me sing the melodies to me maybe when I'm sleeping.
Yeah. That's a good way of looking
you know,
at it. You're right.
They sing melodies when you're sleeping, and then when your spirit is open enough, you hear it.
Yeah. You know, I always say to people, I don't sit down and write music. I don't go, oh no, I'm gonna sit down and write music. It comes in random places. I'd be walking to a shop, you know, I'd be in an airport waiting for a flight, or talking to someone and saying, hey, sorry man, I have this thing, you know, because they're just gifts that you're given, you know. But it's important for us as artists to know that, because I think once we know that, we do not. How do you create a song that is going to touch people when you don't know them? You know, you can't. You can create you know, why is it that sometimes we think we are so gifted or talented that I can write a song that will make a random stranger somewhere cry? You know, because they're thinking of whatever it is that they've gone through. You know, I think we need to understand that these are gifts. Our role is to be ready for them. We need to work hard in making sure that when the gift finds you, you are right.
Are you the instrument that God is playing?
You are the instrument. That's it. You're just a conduit. That's all you are. And so, one, you must realize how privileged you are. You know, privileged you are to get the gifts, privileged you are to stand on stage, privileged that people shower and dress and make up and come to your concerts and listen to you and pay and listen to you, you know. And so,
and give you their time
and give you their
and
time
their ear.
and their ear.
Yo.
You can, every single day I wake up, I realize that even if this thing ended now, I'll still be fine, because I have gotten that gift. And every time I walk on stage and people are humming with you or they're singing your songs, you know, you well up inside, because, come on, who are you? Like, who am I?
I am not worthy of
know,
all of this.
Do
Yes.
you understand? Like in the true sense of that, though, not even saying it. In the true sense, like, you stand there and you think of this song that I wrote when I was going to a shop or I was running, and then suddenly I go siculela basindwayo, sitima baphile, and everyone goes, sitima. What? You know? At what point do you think that's you? Like, at what point do you think, yeah, I know I did that. Yeah. No.
And I was just thinking about something as you said that. How did you find the balance then from being this, musical kid who it was not about money?
Yeah.
Like, because I feel like when it becomes a business, you're able to say fail or pass based on, did you make your money back? Did it sell?
Yeah.
Did people show up at the concert,
Yeah.
right? But back then, there was no clear measure. Unless you were doing your, like, I stayed fed or you were doing your exam, there's a measure.
There's a measure,
right?
yeah.
Where you're like, your grade 6 trumpet practical, you got a B plus or whatever. But what for you was the measure of what failure was, considering that you were a kid still going to school, you had to pass the academics, but you also had this part of you which, yes, there are things that you can measure, but there are things that are completely subjective.
So before recording, I was I was working in the theater, so I was a musical director. And as a musical director, you write music, music, and the director will decide to cut music, and they'll say, "Now we're cutting that piece."
Ah, God, knife in the chest.
I used to cry tears.
When the director
I used to cry tears, and you used to say, because it does nothing for the story. It doesn't push the narrative.
It's not adding value to
the story, right? I just cry, and but then it happens all the time. You realize that any piece is going to be cut. At some point, there's going to be music that's cut, but then you understand that not everything you create or everything that you are given is worthy of.
No, but you know what's wild? So I only discovered this maybe a few years ago. I used to take rejections like you say, we're creative, we sensitive, come on. And that included whether it's a pitch for a TV production or a composition that needs to be written for a TV show. But what I realized is you're building a repertoire of things you can dig into.
Yeah.
Like, and I never thought of it that way. So the moment they're like, we're not using this, I'm like, ka-ching, we'll deal with it later.
I'm all right. I'll keep it there. No, but also with music, I've got songs, a lot of songs, But I believe that songs give birth to songs. Right? So you might get an idea and you think, oh, this idea is... No, it's not. It's just what's giving birth to another idea. And then you'll be walking and that idea and the other idea will be one.
So other than being told that your vocal group is off or flat, what made you as a kid, Mandisi, the pre-teenager, the teenager, what made you believe or understand that you are failing?
Man, every single day we were met with, you're not good enough. We're met with, you're not good enough.
Yeah.
Because we had to, I stayed forth, prove, we had to audition. We had to audition internally. Sometimes you audition and you make the choir, but then you had to audition to make the small group.
Or the solo.
Or the solo work. So every single day you were met with all of those things, And sometimes it was not even because you could not sing or you could not do it, and it's because you weren't able. I remember because I stayed in the township and I went to a school in town, and I remember there was a band, one of the jazz bands rehearsed at 7:00 in the morning, and I couldn't make the time. I couldn't make the rehearsal because I'm a scholarship student, and so I was taken out. Not because I couldn't. I was taken out because there was no bus that could get me there on time. And I could not handle it. I remember coming back home, and I remember this one time, Lebu, I I got an opportunity to conduct the Eastern Cape Youth Choir.
Mm.
I don't know how it happened, but it was full orchestra and the entire, all the schools in the Eastern Cape, about 550 pupils, and I stood there and I was conducting them, Kamina Buparana.
Mm.
And it's a beautiful concert, but there was no one from my house in the audience. Not because they did not want to come there, because they couldn't.
Mm. And what a proud moment for you.
And then here's a story. Sorry, but I have to tell it now because we're here. So I conduct this choir and it's beautiful. And who's this kid who can conduct? And 30 minutes later, I'm standing outside, walking to find the last taxi.
No. No.
And people.
You just conducted.
And people who are from Gqeberha will get this. I come from. We were conducting. We're performing at the Further Market, so I had to go down from the Further Market to the taxi rank down there, and then take the last taxi out of town, which was going anywhere, and it dropped me at freeway, and I had to walk about 3 km to go home. And I come home and people are just watching TV because it's a Sunday, watching TV. And I walk into my room and I bawl.
We're going to have to pause. It's just after 2:30.
702.
The upside of failure.
Proof that a setback can lead to a step forward.
The upside of failure that is happening right now, 21 minutes to 3 o'clock. We're together with Mandisi Dyantyis, multi-award winning trumpet player, singer and composer. And I am just, your guys, I'm trying not to cry in this conversation because it's getting so emotional. 011-883-0702, the WhatsApp line 072-702-1702. And I'm so excited for your career. You're going to be performing at the DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival that is being powered by Lotto Store. Guys, if you don't know, get your tickets for 21st of September and also the 20th of September. And it is going to be food, music, so many wonderful things. And which day are you on?
I'm on Sunday.
You're on the Sunday, the 21st at the Kailami Grand Prix circuit. How did it feel seeing your name on a poster for the first time? Like when you see a poster name and it's your name and your surname.
It was, I remember we were playing it in some small club, in town, Hanks. And then they wrote my name. Mandisi Dyantyis live tonight. So I was walking there for something, I was like, what? I'm like, what? And then, do you know those posters that they have in the township?
Yes.
Is the poster
yes.
when they write.
Yes.
I saw one in PE for Ebubeleni Festival. No, Mandisi Dyantyis. I was like, I stood there and someone was like, oh, hello. I was like, yeah.
Because I'm sure it's such a pinch me moment because
you've seen those posters, you've seen people you used to, those are the shows that you used to go to. I remember in my family, they had festivals that they used to go to. And then now I'm like, it's like...
You are the festival.
We're talking about... like all of this, like, people like, Delicious Mandy's Aibo. Mandy's,
that's me.
Me, okay. Yeah. I was watching TV the other day and I see these names. I'm like, oh, Ndimlo, Ayin, guys.
I love just Ndimlo.
Yeah, it really is that, It's amazing. I don't know.
What were you like at school academically?
I was all right. No, I was all right.
Wait, does all right mean 60%?
I was above. I was a music student.
80-something
percent.
80.
Yeah, I remember calling 80.
Oh, so you're being humble.
No,
you're being
I was all right.
modest.
I know I was all right.
You were all right. Did you ever, when it was time to decide what you're doing, about career day, did you ever consider anything outside of music? I'm a backup plan.
No, I think if I was not going to be a musician, I would have tried to be a lawyer.
Oh.
Yeah, no, criminal lawyer, Your Honor. Don't. Yeah, that would have been great.
Defending the victims or the perpetrators?
I don't know. Let me know. I'm not gonna come here and be. I don't know, but I see myself there. Would have been, and I would have been great, because whichever argument.
Oh my goodness. The voice notes are coming in on 072 702 1702.
Siti ma papile Mandisi, you're my favorite. My daughter, my 16-year-old daughter, loves you so much. In the morning, you bless us so much.
Mandisa, there was this choir. It's a church choir that you used to conduct on while you're still young. I used to play that song because you were so emotional in it, and then you were doing some stuff on it, and then I will play the whole day. The next thing, boom, you there doing solo. I'm proud of you, my guy.
Sithi mabaphile sithi mabaphile. Yo, Relebogile, thank you so much for bringing this great star. Thank you, Mandisi, for the great gift of life. This is just not a song; it's a prayer. Ukuhaya ingoma. It's ukushweleza. Thank you so much. This is Theo from Eduduza.
Did you hear that vibrato in Theo's voice?
No, I was scared. Now the guy's gonna take my gigs. This guy. I got scared. I was like, "I move, guys. Let's be nice."
How do you feel, man? Like those are your lyrics. Those are your melodies.
Yeah.
When people are so invested in that.
Yeah.
Like, how does that feel?
How do you feel? Because you've got reference of knowing why you wrote the song and how easy it came. I remember it was COVID season. I was thinking of, you had multiple deaths. Like, for me, that's what got me. The thing that it's a mother and a father and a sister and the mother, and I was thinking, how do people cope with this thing? And I kept saying to my friends, we are going to have a lot of broken people after this thing. I think the song came out of that. Then I sat one day for 10 minutes and it just came out, that it's the responsibility of us, the responsibility of music. Why do we sing? It's a question, why do we sing? We sing for those who cannot express themselves. We sing for healing, and I think if as an artist you can touch someone in some or other way positive, then you've done your job.
Somebody says, Relebogile, I need to ask, why are you interviewing Anthony Texeria instead of Mandisi? Because they just sound so similar through the radio, especially with certain words. What do you respond to that?
I don't know, Shem. I don't know.
We're going to take another break. When we come back, we continue. 011 883 0702, the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702.
702.
The upside of failure.
Proof that a setback can lead to a step forward.
12 minutes to 3 o'clock, the upside of failure. And we're talking to Mandisi Dyantyis, who is multi-award winning trumpeter, singer, composer. I mean, did you guys know he also is a conductor? He's a musical director. Anything within music, he's there. 011 883 0702, the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702. Your voice notes have been coming through thick and fast.
Relebogile, do you know that this guy ran the Comrades Marathon? Yo, I saw him there. I was so happy to see this man. I have video clips of him. I'm like, yo, what a determined soul. What a comrade. Well done, bro.
Yini Nina Babuzizi, you, Madoda. I started knowing you through my husband. My husband is your biggest fan. And then after listening to your music, man, I'm in love. I think I've attended all the shows you've had in Johannesburg that I've seen. And the last one was in Empress Palace with the orchestra. Yo, 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 yo. Sana, I and Valumlomo. You. Please come back with that orchestra again. Now we need you like endaweni evulekile yabona. Yeah, please.
Ndithanda nomevu ehamba esenza into zakhe kutshisa kubanda kusasa nasemini equmbile encumile esenza into zakhe. Oh, Relebogile, I love this man. I would never miss his interviews for anything. And I'm excited that he's coming to Slow Chile. I'll be sitting there on the VIP lounge watching him and my all-time favorite, Zonke. What a talent. What a blessing. Thank you, Relebogile.
Good afternoon, Relebogile. Kim from Pretoria. I hope you're good. Yo, Molo put Mandisi. Unjani puti, molo puti, unjani. Uphilile na. Yo, I can't wait to see you on Sunday. Get delicious for Nanje. Yo, I just want to say thank you for being a vessel of encouragement. Thank you for giving us music 180. Music 180. Yo.
Music of Truth. There's one that says, Relebogile, thank you for bringing Mandisi in studio. Yo, I go crazy when he sings Ngumama Lo. Big ups to you, son of the soil. We love you so much. Are you feeling the love?
Yep. Yeah. And it's scary, you know. It's beautiful, but it's scary.
I want you to articulate why it's scary, because I think there's something, especially with creatives who are using their gifts, that some people won't understand. So sometimes people don't understand when they're like, but if you're behind a mic all the time, why do you say you're shy or introverted? Yeah. Share with us why it's scary. I would assume it's because of you understand the weight of the responsibility.
It's the weight of it, and how do you live up to it? You know, and sort of wanting to, in a way, justify the love. You know. And make people even prouder. You know, I think sometimes we feel the love, we get used to it, and we don't work hard enough. You know, for me, my greatest fear is inconsistency. You see,
I mean, when your project does well,
it's worse.
It gets
it's worse.
It gets hard.
Yeah, it's worse. It's worse.
What did Maya Angelou say? Our fear is not that. What did she say?
No, I'm going to get it wrong.
Something along the lines of our fear is not that basically you will fail. It's that you're going to succeed beyond your expectations. Yeah. So now that you succeed, right, now it is scarier because we're accustomed to dealing with failure. We know what that looks like. Yeah. Whether the feeling is, I had to quickly catch a taxi after this gig.
Yeah.
This amazing pinch me moment where none of my family were there, and I sobbed I'm going to be sharing a stage with Lauryn Hill.
Yeah. Yeah. She was I had a cover of her in my diary when I was in high school.
Oh my gosh, I'm wearing the t-shirt
and you're wearing the t-shirt. And you're wearing the t-shirt.
How weird is that? This is such a coincidence. Yeah, I mean, my gosh.
It is those things, man. And I don't like to think of those things like that. I always like to think of the opportunity in time. You know, for me, I concentrate on, I'm like, okay, from this time and this time, I will be on stage, and that stage will be mine, and that those people listening will be listening to. Let's go.
What does failure then look like for you today? I mean, you said consistency, right?
Yeah.
But now that you have music out, you try to be very present as a performer, Because once you're on stage, that's all that matters. But what does failure look like for you as Mandisi today?
My thing is I wake up and I want to be better, right? Like all the time, I wake up and go for a run and you practice and you read and you do all of those things. So for me, a day, when there's a day where I have not done that, I always feel like I failed that, I failed my band when I come not prepared for them. I failed the audiences if I don't come prepared for them, So it's those things for me. There are things I hold dear, and that I always say one of my greatest thing or moments that I love now is impressing my band, because they know me. Sometimes I'll bring music and they'll play it and they'll go.
I was just speaking with our previous guest, James, where he said for him when he plays, he wants that basically the other, that stank face.
Yeah. But from my music, but from the guys, once I get it from the guys, I know, it's cool.
You fine.
Yeah, because I can't fool them. I've been with them for 5-6 years. They know me. They say like, man, this one. This one. No, But when are impressed.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
In closing, what would you say you've learned about failure?
It's okay. It's okay to fail. It's important. Actually, it's important to fail, because somewhat when I mean my mind is my mind's eye, if I can put it like that. I always see that failure opens your world, because you need to find another strength. You need to find another direction. You need to find another will to do this thing, that you did not do well, or that just didn't work out. And it takes a certain strength for you to get up and say, I'm going to do it again. And once you've done it again once, you are unstoppable.
Are you proud of yourself?
I have moments. I have moments, but they're not too long.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
From being the one bimbering in the tenor group.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was the tenors, and you pointed at us. It wasn't me. Guys, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
To where you are now, and we are going to so love watching you at the Delicious Festival. Head over to the website, deliciousfestival.com, and it is a weekend of food, of music, of enjoyment at the Kailami Grand Prix circuit. Make sure you get your tickets for the DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star.
Spend your afternoon
with Relebogile Mabotja
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.